Thank you. He brings me tissues often.
Okay, is that everyone? Okay, great. Whew,
Can everyone tell I went to church camp?
Dang. Okay. We didn't do this last time, and so it's so cool that we get to answer some questions that you provided. And because this is our time with you, can we maybe turn these down and bring up the house lights so we can see all of our friends, please? That would be awesome.
Yay!
Yay! There you are.
Oh, there are people all the way up there.
That's right.
Wait, hey, what's going on, guys?
Okay, a couple of things
Thank
before
you
we
for
get to
coming.
your questions.
Oh, and all the way back. Oh, wow.
All the way back there. So first off, of course, we want to again just thank the incredible team, all the sponsors, all of the volunteers that made this event possible and all the events surrounding it, the school visits, the dinners, the breakfast. Just thank you to everybody. Again, thank you to Karen and Greg and Vic and Kelly and Christian and Jason and all of the family members who've been helping us, and of course Tom Luna for inspiring all of us and bringing all of this together. And now there has actually been an art competition called the Gallery of Christ, and it is my privilege to announce the winners of the Gallery of Christ Art Contest. Thank you to all who participated. It was created by members of the community. They're beautiful expressions of faith and devotion. And these winners were selected by local faith leaders, but we still want you to vote as well. And actually there's a gallery up there in the upper concourse where we want you to vote for the People's Choice Award. So after this is all done, please head up there and vote for yours. And thanks again to everybody who participated. Okay, so in third place, with Constant Light Within by Tisha Anderson. That's cool. In second place, Glad in the Heart by Marcella Gillenwater. I met Marcella earlier. And the first place, Still Storm by Heather Walker. Congratulations and thank you to everyone. And yeah, please vote for the People's Choice Award later. Okay, so this is our opportunity to answer some questions from all of you. Okay, so this first question is from a 10-year-old, Birdie Blaylock. Where are you, Birdie? Okay. All right, so this is for the guy who wears all the armor. I think that's you, Kirk. How heavy is your armor?
Wow, great question. Legitimately, it's about 20 pounds. It's real armor. I told the story the other night, because I start with leather and then I end up in that armor. And when I started wearing that armor, I had really bony clavicles. So the armor was digging into my clavicle. By the end of the day, I was bruised. So I kept on coming. I didn't want to disturb the costume people, so I was trying to use foam. I was trying all these different things. I think we finally, I agreed. I wanted to do it myself. I didn't want to burden them. Anyway, we finally came up with a thing, and it's like a neoprene thing that goes on underneath. So it's like wearing a wetsuit. So man, do I sweat. But my clavicles don't hurt. So yeah, 20 pounds.
Do you wear that during the summer?
Yes. 105-degree Texas heat. Thank you. Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, before I forget, I also wanted to thank Vic Miller, the dad, and Kevin Miller at KIDO for all your support and letting people know about this.
Oh, can I share one other thing really quick?
Yeah.
Really quick. I can't get dressed alone. Meaning I can't. I know that sounds a little odd. Well, at
We have
home
an
I
entire
can.
team, it's nothing at home.
You
Do
can
you
bet
paper
you have
like
help.
paste
Yeah.
on?
My wife has to help me
Style.
sometimes. Yeah, she dressed me for tonight as it is. No, but I can't put on that armor by myself, so I have a dresser. And she helps me every day. She puts it all together. She has to help me put on my gauntlets, which is really, really interesting considering I'm a tough Roman, but I can't dress myself.
Okay, so this question I'm going to throw at you, Luke.
Yeah?
What do you love about the person you play?
I love his passion. Something that I really wanted to portray and like I actively added to him was his absolute care for everything. And he wants to care so badly. Like you could see him at this business job that he absolutely despises. He's doing it just to like get by, to support him and his sister because they're orphans. And you're like, oh, no, he wants to do something more. He wants to be a part of something more. And he comes into this group and he comes in with such care and love for everybody, everything, and most importantly, Jesus. And so, honestly, I love that passion of his. And I'm going to miss it.
Great. You know, I actually want each of us to answer this one, because it's so fun. Which part would you cast Dallas Jenkins in? Kirk, why don't you start as knowing him the longest? You know him the longest. This should be easy for you.
Fun question.
Oh my gosh. Well, he's white, like. So
The options are limited. Yeah.
Options are limited. So I'm going to go with Roman.
We have no one on the show named Roman. Who's
Oh, that's
specifically?
right. Right. Well, he would play a Roman. Gosh, I don't know. Man, that's really, really tough. Maybe a character that we haven't seen yet, like maybe the Emperor or something.
Oh, dang.
I could
Like
see him,
Caesar?
like, wearing.
Caesar.
Oh my goodness, he's Caesar.
You know what I mean?
That's dead.
With the leaves and everything.
Yeah.
He's just such a, he looks
Eating
like
grapes.
Superman.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Right? He's got that
I
summer drive.
would love to see him built up as like, oh my goodness, Caesar's coming, Caesar's coming. Everyone's like freaking out, and there's the praetors, and then it's just, hey guys,
www.
does anyone have a quill? I just,
www.thechosen.
So I'm going to say Caesar.
Okay,
on the
great.
aqueducts.
I like that. I like that.
You're
answer.
going with that?
Actually, I can see him playing Atticus.
That's what I was
Yeah.
going to say.
Ah.
I could see
Yeah.
Dallas playing Atticus.
Eating apples and
Yep.
Yeah.
How about you?
watching.
Me, y'all know the golden calf from Exodus?
You're
Yeah,
fired.
I'm picturing that. Oh, don't worry, I'm on my way out anyway. He can't hurt me anymore. Dallas, if you're watching this, I love you. You know, from like, no, I'm actually gonna stop.
Yeah.
That's what we.
Kirk Woller,
Yes, sir.
this is so weird that this has come up at both shows. Did you really tie all those knots?
Man, I'm really disappointed you people don't believe in me. Whoever wrote that question. I'm going to say the same thing I did last show. Forgive my language, but hell yeah, I those knots.
These
Hell
are
yes.
professional, ladies and gentlemen.
I mean, I practiced those knots for a month and a half, 2 months, every day. Like I could do it in my sleep. I could do it in the, in the dark, because I take that kind of thing really, really seriously. Because I didn't want to have a stunt knot tire. So, yeah, I learned it. In fact, one of the knots was supposed to be tied off on something. My instincts told me there's not going to be anything to tie it off on. So I found another knot online and suggested that, and they loved it. So. Yes. Who asked that question?
Identify yourself.
Shame I did.
Right there.
Where?
I saw a parent grab a hand down.
Oh, it's a little girl. It's okay.
Okay, so here's an interesting one. You all know when we started the show, we only had enough money to shoot 4 episodes, and we didn't know if we'd be able to continue. So it's not like we had any idea it would turn into the opportunity to come and be welcomed by the state of Idaho. You know? That's loving arms. So the question is, what was your first reaction when you got cast in your role in The Chosen?
Oh,
Luke?
I was like, a job? Yes! I did it! See, Mom? But no. I mean, it was genuinely, well, I got a double whammy because one, I was like, yay, I got cast in something. That's always a good feeling as an actor. It's very validating, and it's also exciting to take part in any project. But then also to get to play Judas, I was like, oh, sweet. I got the cool one. Let's go.
The romantic lead of the whole story.
Yes. I mean, he does get a kiss in.
What'd you say?
Too soon.
What?
Too soon.
It's all right, Kirk. It's probably for the best. Don't worry.
The replay.
Kirk, how about you, considering you've known Dallas all this time? What was your first reaction when you got the role?
I really mean this seriously. Complete gratitude. I really, really mean that. I never take that relationship for granted, and for me it was extra special. I don't talk about this that much, but went through a divorce, and not my choice, sadly, but that's life. And I don't really talk about this at all. I wasn't even sure I wanted to act anymore, honestly. And then Dow called and he said, "Hey, I'm doing this. Would I be interested?" What? But I did have to audition and still earn the right, because what the decision wasn't totally up to Dallas. There are other individuals that...
Yeah, you had to get past Amanda.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Amanda's Dallas's wife, and she has a lot to do with casting, so she's a huge part of The Chosen.
Oh, yeah.
So honestly, just gratitude, and I couldn't have been more excited.
Yeah. Liz, you kind of talked about it, but anything to share on
Well,
that?
yeah, I was trying to quit acting, but it was because I was not successful at it, and I thought I needed to grow up and do something really practical. And so I told my agent to stop submitting me, and he ignored that request, which was great.
For our benefit.
For my benefit too. So I finally got this audition about a month later, and it really surprised me because I hadn't auditioned for like a real character in years. It was all commercial stuff, day player stuff, and
Yep.
I was stunned. But auditioning for it was such a wonderful experience, and the callback with Dallas was so positive, and I was like, this feels different. This feels like I might book this. And then when I was driving home from Dallas to Austin, about an hour into the drive after the callback, I got a call from my agent saying you booked it, which never happens. You usually have to wait really, really long. And I just screamed and cried and laughed. I was very happy.
Wow. Gotta say, the cast is a non-biblical character named Shmuel. Wasn't my same reaction. Because it was, thank
You got your own,
I've got
like,
some
fan club
Shmuel
right here.
fans.
I know.
Thank you. Don't give
fans
up
in the
on him.
first row.
Please don't give up on him. No, when I booked it was just the first 4 episodes, and if you remember, all Shmuel does is fangirl about Nicodemus coming to town and be a really mousy kind of skittering like guy, and then he's also like, "Did you hear what that guy said about us by the River Jordan?" And he's all like upset about being called a brood of vipers and all that. So I didn't know where it was going to go. I had no idea that Shmuel would become such a central part of the story. So I was like, yeah, great, a job, and I get to play a non-biblical character. Who knows what's going to happen with them? I'll just go do my best and see what happens. And so here we are.
Yeah.
Yay!
Wow.
Yay! Yeah, see what we
They're
have?
so loud. They love you.
We have a Pharisee, we have an apostle, we have a disciple, and we have a Roman here. Well, I want to bring you variety. Okay, so I think this is a great question, seeing as we got a couple minutes left on this clock. Were there any improvisations or last-minute changes that made it into the final edit of the show? So I'll start because there's a cool thing that came to my mind. When you watch the show, when you go from season 1 to season 2, it's like the colors are brighter, the world explodes, it feels so big. We've got that Utah set that we can use. And so that's when we're introduced in, I think it's episode 4 of season 2, might be 3, I can't remember. No, I think it's 4, that's where Shmuel, and we meet Yanni, of course, who I love, played by Wasim, who's now Moses on the Promised Land. Shmuel is in Jerusalem trying to preach to people, and there in the scene you see that Thomas and Nathaniel are walking, and they see Shmuel preaching, and then Matthew's there like, "Psst, come over here, this guy's no good." And the way it was written was there were little chunks of what Shmuel was supposed to be saying, but he's preaching the whole time in the background. That hadn't been written. So I had to write, or I chose to write, the entire thing that Shmuel was preaching before, the chunks in between, the other chunk going on. And I just did that. I prepped that and I did that. And it ended up being so great because Dallas was like, "I didn't even think about that, and you got it covered. That's awesome." He's like, "Thank you for doing that." And it also helped me do the role because I knew exactly where I was coming from, what I was saying, what point I was trying to make. And some of what I had created is in there. You wouldn't know, but I know. But yeah, that was a cool thing that got
You
in
know
there.
now.
Yeah.
I've got a pretty cool, quick thing.
Yeah.
So we were filming the scene in season 3 where Lysander, the Greek, breaks into Andrew's house to wake us up to let them all know that Decapolis is in trouble.
Not a good way to
And during that
interact.
scene, Judas is at the top bunk. He's not noticeable, and he basically comes down and draws a knife on Lysander, not realizing that he's there as a friend. And me and Dallas got into a little disargument about where the knife should be. Because in the script it says I just hop out of bed with him, and I asked him, I was like, am I just sleeping with a knife at the bed? And so eventually we came to a compromise that it's in the bag and I take it out. And the first take happens all right, everything's going well. Second take, I take it out and the sheath comes with it. And I take a moment, I look at that and I just quickly, anyway. So we cut and we're resetting and I go to Dallas, I'm sorry, and he is, through laughter, like, keep it. Can you do that every time? And an acting rule is, you never say no, you say, yes, of course. Of course I can do that. And so I proceeded to grab it with the sheath every time, take a moment, realize it, and that's what's in the final cut.
That's awesome. How about you, Liz?
I know, Alex. I don't think I've ever improvised anything.
Sure, good at it.
Improv?
Anything that you added or improvised that ended up in the final edit?
No.
Okay, all right.
I don't improvise. See, the Romans are pretty, they're pretty straightforward.
Oh, you know what you could tell them? Tell them about the...
Oh yeah, that's right. Episode 1, season 1. It was the very beginning, and it's the scene where I'm late, and Matthew says, "Guys, you're late," and I say, "I know. Did you feel the market? It's on fire. One more." And then I do this. I do it the way I felt it was right, and I didn't want to be too mean or aggressive to Matthew. That was part of my interpretation, and so. So I do it a couple of takes, and then Dallas says, when you go, instead of saying the last word, markets are on fire, just go. Do you remember that? And I was like, what's... What is that? He says, just try it. And I said, okay. And of course, that's in the final cut. But I said, before I did it, I said, isn't that a little mean? And he goes, yeah, we need that. So yeah, but that's all Dallas Jenkins. That wasn't me. That was his genius. Which
That's true. Most of the improv goes are from Dallas, so he knows his show. And
Yeah,
it comes
he's
out fantastic.
really, really, really smart that way, in all ways.
Well, so we're not done yet. We still have another musical number before we leave, but can we just thank our amazing musicians and singers with the high-end emotion level. Thank you so much. So we're going to turn it over to them. Thank you so much for coming. We're so blessed by you all. It means so much. Thanks for supporting our show.
You gotta say-
Bye. Can we do that?
Video.